Let's spin you around the games for Saturday if we can ask you to prognosticate a bit. Let's start with Jags at Chiefs. What are you expecting?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think this is probably on paper the most lopsided game of the weekend. Just because I think we all know who the Chiefs are, what they're capable of, the quarterback that they have. That I think, most people are going to assume that the Chiefs are going to advance in this game. When you look at the Jags, they got a bunch of good young players, and they're going to need those young players to play really, really well to win this game. We know that they're capable of it. They've been on a run here at the end of the season. They've played better football. What they did in the second half against the Chargers, that a lot of people want to talk about how the Chargers blew it and all of these things. When you go back and watch the second half of that game, I kind of assumed when I would put on the tape that the Chargers would just give them easy plays, and somehow they allowed them to get back because they were just doing things that were kind of easy high hoppers for the Jags, and that wasn't the case. It took the Jags making play after play, Trevor Lawrence throw after throw. Christian Kirk made some really great catches, contested catches, but they had to play football, and they had to execute, and they executed really, really well as they have down the stretch. So this team can play, and it's got a lot of guys that are playmakers on this team. But I still think they're going to have to play their best. The one thing I always look at with Trevor Lawrence is that as good as he is at times, he misses too many layups for me to kind of put him in that, that next, tier of quarterbacks. And what I mean by that is just, there's throws or reads that to me, you have to make as a starting quarterback, and you have to make them most of the time. And too often, he'll make some special throws, but he'll miss a number of those layups throughout a game. And I don't think you can do that against this Chiefs team. I think you're going to have to be efficient. You're going to have to play for an entire game the way you did in the second half last week, and that's going to be a telltale sign. And then somehow their defense is going to have to, last time they played, they created 3 turnovers and still got beat by 10 points. But they're going to have to create some big plays, force Patrick into some mistakes, I think, if they're going to win this game.
Moving on to the second game on Saturday, Giants and Eagles. Giants at the Eagles. What do you think?
We know, coming off of obviously the game last week against Minnesota, was really excited about where the Giants are and how they were playing. And Daniel Jones kind of had a career game. So I went into this thing thinking, man, this could be, this is probably going to be a lot closer than we saw in that regular season matchup when the starters played. And then I went back and watched the tape of the 2 games, Eagles against the Giants. And the Eagles had their way with the Giants offensively. Like, a couple times they didn't score in the red zone, especially in that last game. But it was hard for the Giants to slow them down at all in both of those games. And so even though I went in thinking this Giants are playing well, this is going to be a better game than I thought, after watching the tape, I'm a little more concerned for the Giants. They're going to need, they're going to need big performances from their stars, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. They're going to need some guys up front on defense to create some negative plays, which they did the second time in the red zone, which is going to be key. But just looking at this game, assuming we get a Jalen Hurts that's playing somewhat close to the way he did during the regular season, I think this is going to be tough for the Giants. But, again, third time around, they're playing their best football. I'm hoping that they can, throw something out there and Brian Daboll can continue his magic to make this a close game, but definitely leaning towards the Eagles in this one.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.